Each time Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the nation, it is met with a sense of foreboding. From the shock of demonetization abruptly announced at 8 p.m. on 8th November 2016, when rupees 1000 and rupees 500 notes were rendered invalid with just 4 hours' notice, to the nationwide COVID lockdown declared on 24th March 2020, which halted public transport and triggered a mass exodus of migrant workers on foot, Modi's televised addresses tend to generate fear, anxiety, and alarm. But Modi's TV address on Saturday, April 18th, projected a rather different mood. Using the platform of India's public broadcaster, Doordarshan, paid for by the taxpayer, Modi delivered a blisteringly partisan speech, shedding the restraint and dignity expected of high constitutional office to lash out at the opposition in strident, hostile, and vindictive language. Modi's vitriolic campaign-style speech on Doordarshan during the election campaign for the West Bengal and Tamil Nadu assembly polls was a gross violation of the model code of conduct. But the swaggeringly self-important Modi recognizes no restraints, refuses to abide by constitutional propriety or moral responsibility. He operates like a wayward absolute monarch, arm-twisting democratic institutions to his every whim, flaunting executive overreach, talking down to the public in a sneering tone, and using any means available to pursue his frenzied ambition to win elections. Lust for power doesn't even begin to describe it. Modi is driven by a greed for power that sometimes seems almost irrational and deranged. Shockingly, Modi even went so far as to call the defeat of the amendments to the Women's Reservation Bill in last week's special session of Parliament as a bhroon hatya, or feticide, or aborting a female child. Such a word for a legislative defeat is not just grossly inappropriate, but deeply offensive. It's a brazen exploitation of women's trauma to score political points in a political speech. What was defeated in Parliament by a united opposition was not the Women's Reservation Bill. That was unanimously passed by all parties in 2023 and has now been notified. Women's reservation is the law of the land. What was rejected instead were the cunning amendments to the Women's Reservation Bill, which linked it to an outlandish delimitation formula, raising the number of seats in Parliament to 850 and to the 2011 census, even though the new census exercise has already begun. The Modi government was using the Women's Reservation Bill as a shield to bring in an outrageous delimitation plan and in one stroke deprive opposition-ruled states such as Tamil Nadu and West Bengal of seats and representation in the Lok Sabha. At the same time, this delimitation formula would hugely increase seats in North Indian states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The attempt to ram through these amendments in a special session of Parliament was a naked power grab by Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, and it was defeated. The Prime Minister is now posing as the campaigner for Nari Shakti and as a champion for women's empowerment. If Modi believes so much in the representation of women, why did the BJP give only 16% tickets to women in the 2024 general elections? Of the BJP and NDA's 21 chief ministers, why is there only one woman? Among the 72 ministers in the Modi government, why are there only a few women? These questions are important. In the Bengal Assembly polls, why has the BJP given only 11% tickets to women? Why is the Modi-led BJP waiting for a law to start giving more tickets to women? Why is it waiting for legislation? Why did Modi mock three-time Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee with Didi, oh Didi, catcalls? Why did he call businesswoman Sunanda Pushkar a 50 crore girlfriend? He used the word 50 crore girlfriend. Why did the Modi government not act against its MP and President Wrestling Federation of India, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who was accused of sexual harassment by Olympic medal-winning women wrestlers? And why did the Modi government or Modi himself not utter a word when convicted rapists who gang raped Bilkis Bano in 2002 and brutally murdered her daughter were garlanded by Sangh Parivar activists when these rapists were released in 2022? Why did Modi not utter a word? Modi's Nari Shakti is only Nara Shakti, slogans. It is fake. It is nakli. The Modi government is led by a Pracharak Prime Minister. Narendra Modi was once a Pracharak. of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS, an organization that for 100 years has had no place for women in its shakhas, where men in white shirts and khaki shorts, now trousers, have always believed a woman's place is in the kitchen. That's the RSS for you. M.S. Golwalkar, the RSS's ideological mentor and guru, wrote in his book Bunch of Thoughts. This is what Golwalkar wrote, quote, "Motherland needs men who are young, intelligent, dedicated, virile and masculine. When eternal manliness combines with eternal knowledge, victory is ensured. Such are the men who make history, men with a capital M." Unquote. That's Golwalkar. There are approximately 88,000 RSS shakhas with approximately 40 lakh male members, whereas Swayam Sevikas number only 55,000 and Swayam Sevika Samitis around 2,700. Why does the RSS not have more women? Why has there never been a woman Sarsanchalak? The All India Trinamool Congress sends almost 40% women to parliament. 40% women. And Mamata Banerjee is an entirely self-made leader who bucks the South Asian trend of female accession to male martyrdom. She's not here by dint of a male martyr. Not only are women given tickets to contests, but they are also placed in highly visible roles and encouraged to blaze new trails. BJP ruled states top the National Crime Records Bureau NCRB charts for crimes against women. Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Delhi take the top spots for crimes against women in the NCRB 2023 report. In contrast, in West Bengal, the government has brought the Aparajita bill to provide the strictest possible punishment for such crimes, and Kolkata has been ranked among the safest cities for women for 4 consecutive years, according to the government's own NCRB data. Even in marriage and personal relationships, the Sangh BJP mentality is always wanting to police women. Gujarat's Registration of Marriage Act demands parents' consent. The Hindutva forces invented the pernicious issue of so-called love jihad to criminalize interfaith relationships and deny women agency and autonomy. Women making free choices on love and marriage are subjected to policing. Uttarakhand's Uniform Civil Code forces registration of live-in relationships. This mindset infantilizes women, denies them agency, and traps them in the Devi image, so women never achieve full personhood. In the 2017 Hadia case, in which a Kerala woman, Akhila Ashokan, converted to Islam and married of her own free will, the Supreme Court made it clear that the right to marry a person of one's choice is part of Article 21. Patriarchy cosets women. But in the 21st century, women cannot be perpetually protected and sheltered and controlled. Modi's Nakli Nari Shakti is evident in the twisted way women's empowerment was instrumentalized for a political end. RSS Sarsanchalak Mohan Bhagwat once described marriage as a contract where the wife must look after the house and the husband will keep her safe, in quotes, and if she violates this contract, he can then disown her. It is this anti-woman mindset that has resulted in the sidelining of strong and outspoken women in the BJP. The late Sushma Swaraj was sent into ill-fated contests, for example, against Sheila Dikshit in Delhi in 1998 and against Sonia Gandhi in Bellary in 1999, and became a scapegoat for BJP's defeats. Sushma Swaraj was a highly effective leader of the opposition, but she was never considered a prime minister candidate. In the Modi years, she was somewhat humiliated. As External Affairs Minister, Sushma Swaraj was seemingly excluded from the BJP's top leadership. Vasundhara Raje was a 2-time Rajasthan chief minister, but despite emerging as a regional satrap, she was marginalized by the BJP after his 2023 win, a victory she helped to script. Nirmala Sitharaman may be a high-profile minister, but she's hardly part of the BJP's decision-making elite within the party. Uma Bharti led the BJP to a massive victory in 2003 in Madhya Pradesh, but was punished for speaking her mind. She even went so far as staging an outburst on television after the 2004 general elections. Uma Bharti was immediately dubbed a rebel and has been marginalized in the BJP ever since. This is what happens to strong leaders in the BJP. The Sangh Parivar constantly engages in moral policing. Former Uttarakhand BJP Chief Minister Tirath Singh Rawat inveighed against a woman wearing ripped jeans in 2021. And Union Minister ML Khattar, as Chief Minister Haryana, said women should dress decently to remain safe. Cricketer Jemima Rodriguez and other publicly visible women, including myself, are daily targets of ideological foot soldiers of the Hindu right. They abuse us night and day. The truth is that Modi is only using Nari Shakti and women's empowerment as a weapon of mass distraction. On the day of Modi's TV address, Iran shut the Straits of Hormuz and fired at 2 Indian carriers. But no serious discussion on West Asia has been allowed in Parliament. It's so much easier for Modi to simply grandstand, posture, evade the real issues concerning citizens' daily lives, and instead build escapist delusions and glittering media fantasies about the championing of the cause of women. The opposition's open challenge remains. Modi, call a session of parliament and pass the 33% women's reservation in the 543-member Lok Sabha existing now. Do it now, Shri Modi. The effect of reserving 1/3 seats for women in a 543-member house, where women actually replace men, is far more genuinely transformative than expanding the Lok Sabha to 850 and then allocating 1/3 of it to women. In the first case, you genuinely reshape the balance of power, the gender balance of power. In the second, you merely add more numbers, add more members, the majority of whom are still men. That's what Modi really wants. The optics of so-called women's empowerment as nothing but window dressing while the men keep holding the reins of real power. That's the reason Modi's Nari Shakti is nakli. It is totally fake.